Let's go live to the Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews. 3 days to go until polls close. He's taking questions from the media.
And state needs. We've also, those same engineers who have done the costings and all the hard work on Suburban Rail Loop and Metro Tunnel and so many other projects, they've also delivered the duplication of the Cranbourne line. They've also delivered an upgrade to every single regional passenger rail line in our state. They also are part of our level crossing removal program, where we said we'd have 50 of them gone by the end of this year. Well, it turns out there's 67 of them are gone, and we've got more to do there too. So, well, as I've just said, it's a Julia, I've just said I think this is now for the third time.
Why does the independent PBO suggest it's going to be a lot more than what you're forecasting?
Well, that's a matter for them. You'd need to speak to them about the assumptions they make, what they assume, and the work that they've done. Treasury and Finance and a very big team of people who do this and this only for a living, plan and deliver really big, complex transport projects. They're not people they're not in an office. They are people who are out on the ground, doing this important work.
That's a branch of government, and then you've got independent costings done by PBO.
I'm terribly sorry. Parliamentary Budget Office is not a branch of government.
It's controlled by the government.
No, it is not. It is. I'm sorry. It's the giveaway's in the name. Parliamentary. They work for the Parliament. The Department of Transport, the infrastructure team, the team that the Coordinator General Corey Hannett brings to bear, Major Transport Infrastructure Authority, our Level Crossing Removal Authority. It's a long list. They are in the business of delivering big projects. And you know what, Julia? No government in the history of this state has delivered more big road and rail projects than our government. And I'm deeply grateful to every single worker who is out there right now as we speak here delivering those projects. They're so important, and their jobs are on the ballot on Saturday because the other side are going to cancel projects. They're not going to get on and build. They think that making the economy smaller is somehow a good thing. I want to make the economy bigger. I want to keep people in work. I want to make sure that we deliver the road and rail, hospital and school agenda that's so important to our state being strong. It's what we have done, and therefore you can be absolutely certain that we will continue to get that job done if we are re-elected.
People also costed the Westgate Tunnel, which has blown out the North East Link, which also has blown out the Metro Tunnel, which has also blown out.
That's not correct. Complex projects, like the easiest thing to do, and the choice that some others have made. But hang on a second. Yeah, hang on. I understood the question. I did. I think I did. Be really clear about this. The easiest thing to do is to say, oh, well, that's a complex project. I'll just kick that down the road. I'll let someone else do that. I'll let another government do that. No.
For the last parts of that project.
I'll come to that too as a separate issue. We don't choose to defer things. We don't choose to leave the work that must be done today to a government of tomorrow. No one in the future will thank us for the stuff we didn't get built, because when they have to go and build it, it will be more complex and it will cost more. Nothing gets cheaper. Nothing gets cheaper. It only gets more expensive.
That wasn't my question, though. My question is around how can we trust these figures when the same department people costed the other very complex figures, and those figures didn't turn out to be correct.
They are complex projects. And
the figures on the other complex projects weren't correct.
Well, we're delivering all of those complex projects.
But they're not correct. Doesn't change the fact that it's blown out.
That's what you're asserting, Samara.
Well, Tim Pellis in his budget in May, had conceded that these projects had blown out.
Let's be very clear, although I think I have been. We build things. We get things done. We don't say, look, that's all a bit too hard. We won't do that. They're big and complex, and they were too big and too complex for many governments. But not for us and the tens of thousands of workers who deliver them and whose jobs are on the line on Saturday.
Trust the costings that have been put forward by the independent PBO. Are you suggesting that it's not independent?
It's a matter. No, I didn't make that suggestion at all.
Where are the holes in those figures?
Hang on a second. Hang on. Look, seriously. I think it's really important, Julia, with the greatest of respect, just a moment ago you tried to make the Parliamentary Budget Office part of government. I've in fact defended their independence. I haven't called it into question.
The costings that you're referring to is what I was
explaining. That's a matter for them. They can speak to the assumptions they've used. Suburban Rail Loop Airport, fully funded. Suburban Rail Loop East, from Cheltenham to Box Hill, fully funded. And we're going to get on and deliver those projects. Because if we don't deliver them, somebody else will have to deliver them. And they will cost more, and they will be more complex and more difficult. And I'm not leaving what should be done now to be done by somebody else later. And I'm not going to look those workers in the eye and say, oh, well, your job doesn't matter. I'm also not going to say to everybody in the suburbs of Melbourne, well, look, you know, we're going to be the biggest city in the country, and don't worry that all your streets will be choked up with traffic, because it was easier not to do things.